This is Saida Garrett, and I'm tuned in to Intro to Info with my girl Mikeisha.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. It's the Flowers is here, and I'm tuned into Intro to Info with my girl Mikeisha. All love, always.
Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Intro to Info. I'm your host, Mikeisha Best, broadcasting live from the Upper Marlboro area. So glad that you can join us today, Thursday, May 21st, 2026. We're live every Thursday from 9 until 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And sometimes we welcome fabulous guests who I find on the internet. And today is one of those days. I done found somebody to interview, and her story is amazing. I see you over there, Tam. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Okay, good. Let's prepare our hearts and minds for our special guest. Her name is Marty WUELLNER, and she is the founder of the Crew Coaching Collective. Marty, thank you so much for being our special guest this evening. So glad that you could join us.
I'm so happy to be here. It's a privilege. It's an honor. We're going to have so much fun.
Absolutely. Now, make sure I pronounced your name correctly because I have to get that accent correct.
I know. It's Marty.
Marty.
Perfect. Nailed it.
Okay. So my first question for you is, your story starts with being the college dropout and single mom at 24. What gave you the confidence to try entrepreneurship anyway?
Yeah. So I was 21 when I became a single mom and dropped out of college my third year, where I finished 3 years. I figured I'd had enough. I didn't need to wrap up. And so I did what women do, is we pull ourselves up from our bootstraps and we figure out how to create a life given our circumstances. Being a single mom, I figured like all I needed was insurance and a job and food and love, and we're going to make it work. And so I went into the banking world and found that I was really good at sales. I was really good at making the money for the man or for the corporation, but I wasn't being compensated for that. So I thought maybe entrepreneurship would be the way to go. And God put someone in front of me at the right time, call it universe, call it divine timing. And he introduced me to a sales leader for a big insurance company that you would recognize the name of. And I applied for a position to open my own insurance agency. And I had no business. I had no business walking into that boardroom, sitting in front of these men in their suits. And I did it anyway. And I think we can get to that point of the why. But you guys, I bombed it. like bombed this interview so bad. In the beginning, they were leaning in, they were asking great questions, and then they asked the big question, which was, this is a hard opportunity. This is not easy to start from nothing and build an insurance agency. You have no experience doing this. What makes you think you'll be able to pull it off? Oh my God, I started crying. In this interview at 24 years old, and these men, their body language was all like arms crossed, lean back, like get out of here. You're wasting our time. And through my sobs, I said, what do you mean? Like, how do we know I would make it? Like, of course I would make it. I'm a mom. I'm a single mom. It's what we do. I'll do anything I need to do to make it, especially for my son and the family that we were building at that time. And so I had no business, the requirements to step into that boardroom was a college degree, obviously didn't have that, and 6 figures in the bank. Did not have that, nowhere close to that. They wanted to make sure that you had the money to invest in their company. And I think what gave me the audacity, and I wish we could bottle this, is youth. I was so naive. I was so naive back then. I think life hadn't really gotten to me quite yet, or, social media wasn't a thing back then either. And I just had this resolve and this confidence that only a 24-year-old with a little bit of swagger, a little bit of rebellious attitude can have. And then it went from there. So the story is wild. I had no business starting the agency, and we grew it, and it's thriving. I want every woman to be able to somehow figure out how we can bottle that confidence and bring that into whatever her next goal or dream or desire is, because we all deserve it. We all deserve whatever we want.
So you wait a minute, wait. I wasn't expecting that ending, because I was thinking that you cried and they said, go ahead about your business, and you had to find another resource. So tell us more about.
Oh my God. I feel like I'm coming down with something, Mikeisha. So please be like, girl, you're not making any sense anymore. I think I'm like on the brink of that cold delirium. So I walked out of that boardroom, I knew I had bombed, but these guys talked about it after the fact. And apparently what they saw was that my lived experiences mattered more than the college degree and the 6-figure in the bank. That my resolve, and that I was the kind of woman who was going to pull herself up from her bootstraps and do what needed to be done. They saw that potential, and that is why they gave me an opportunity to move forward with the opportunity, with the promotion, with the agency.
Fantastic. This is good. Go back to, you said that you were good at sales. I want to know, did that come natural, or did you study that? Because that is not a skill everyone has.
Yeah. So definitely studied it. Absolutely studied it. And also I think it is a gift. I think it's an inherent gift to be able to sit across from a person, or be on the phone with a person, and to learn the questions to ask to uncover needs. And then once the needs are uncovered, present maybe a solution to their problem. And also, I think one of the reasons I'm really good at sales is that I'm ethical. I'm honest, and I won't sell something that isn't in line with the needs of the person that I'm chatting with. And I think that trust relationship comes through in the sales conversation. So I think it was maybe a little, like I've always wanted to have my own business. So maybe a little bit of inherent sales, like a gift, but then also the books and then my values is what really took me the full road.
When you were in college, what were you studying?
Oh my God. Okay. So I started studying, I was going for fun. Okay. I was going for fun. I started as a nursing, and then I took chemistry, and I'm not smart enough for that. And I have always, I was like, no. I took one chemistry class and dropped that very, very quickly. And I've always loved entrepreneurship, and I've always loved exercise. Not so much. I mean, it's a love-hate relationship at this point. So I used to have a big dream of owning a health club. And so I was studying physical education, which is crazy because I really don't even like kids. Don't judge me. I like my own. So thank God this didn't happen, but physical education with a minor in business. And my idea was to open a health club, but that was all derailed getting pregnant.
Understood. So what was the hardest permission slip you had to write for yourself in the early days of building your insurance agency?
Whoa. So I did not know how to sell insurance. I knew nothing. And so it was a crash course into entrepreneurship and then also insurance sales. And so what I did back then was I looked around and I made a list of the top agents, the people who are at the top of the list and selling all the things and winning all the trips. And it was a bunch of dudes. It was a bunch of guys up at the top of the list. And so I interviewed them and I asked what they were doing. And so I started modeling my agency and my business after the bros, after the way that these guys were able to hustle and grind. The problem with that is they had wives at home and I didn't. And so I was grinding in the office and then also maintaining the invisible labor of a mom and a woman at home. And I completely burnt out. I landed myself in the emergency room. I had a panic attack. And long story short, there's more to that story, but the permission slip that I needed to grant myself was I needed to learn how to do business on my terms, or else I wouldn't be able to maintain any business. I wouldn't be able to maintain my health or my relationships at home either. And so the first permission slip I really unfortunately was forced into, and thank God I was to do it on my terms, to build a business that was going to work for me and that was going to work for my family in a sustainable way, not the way the guys were doing it.
Well, I'm seeing already a common thread of you study, you do your homework, you do your research, and then you take the risk. And so I want to welcome Queen of Hearts. She's another host of the show, and she just joined us. And the three of us all have things that we own and names that, we all have that like desire to have a business. And so to have you on is a pleasure. And I want to know what made you not want to work for someone else and start your own?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Such a great question. First was getting to the bank at 8:30, and by 10, I was bored out of my mind. I was watching the clock, and by 11, I was taking lunch, going, what am I going to do? What am I doing with my life? I'm so bored. This is just, I'm like pulling my hair out. So there was that. I did not like what I was doing. But then the other side of it is I was selling all these loans and I knew how much the loans were making for the bank, but I wasn't being compensated in relation to how much I was selling. There really wasn't a commission structure set up for me. And so it was at that moment that I was like, well, I don't even like what I do. I'm really, really bored. Is there a safe way? And when I mean safe, I mean, I'm still taking care of my kids. I'm still taking care of the health insurance and then the finances, for me to enjoy what I'm doing and be compensated for how hard I work. And so that was why I started looking for an off-road into entrepreneurship. So then I started my first business with the insurance agency.
You thought it was unfair that the bank was making so much from these loans, but you were doing leg work. Is that what I'm gathering?
Yes, that's what you're gathering. Exactly. Right.
Wow.
And they really capitalized. I don't have a degree. I was a single mom. I was pretty desperate at the time. And I think that made me an easy target to pay me a very minimal wage and not compensate me for the work I was doing. And because of that experience, that is not the kind of entrepreneur I am. I compensate my team very well. And so like I get, and that's that permission slip is like, oh, I don't have to do it like a gross corporation does it. I can do it like a woman with integrity who wants to pay back and give back to the women who are working with me, for me.
How often do you think that companies and businesses don't pay their workers a lot because they don't have the resources, as opposed to capitalism and greed?
Yeah, that is, I don't know, especially right now. I don't know. Like Facebook just laid off 8,000 workers yesterday. It's wild out there right now, and there's stuff going on in the insurance agency that is full greed. The company is overall is making some massive changes that I don't want to get into. But I think it happens all the time, and with AI, oh boy, I just think it's greed on top of all the things where we're at, the patriarchy and everything. And so, especially as women, we're so undervalued. It's like, oh my gosh, this is like our rally cry. How are we going to do this? How are we going to step into entrepreneurship or somehow to make the wage a livable wage that we deserve? And it might not be working for the man anymore. I don't know. I'm seeing it everywhere, and it's gross, and I really hate it.
Queen of Hearts and Tam, I want to give you all the opportunity to speak to our special guest this evening.
I wasn't aware of the Facebook layoffs, but it's not surprising. I work in a collision place, and I talk to insurance companies all the time. And tow yards, they have AI robots calling me now, asking me if a car has been released, and it's like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, but the funny thing is they haven't quite figured it out yet, because they still have a live person to call maybe 30 minutes later just to verify what the AI bot said, right? I was like, I thought that was kind of funny. But in all seriousness, they're starting to replace people, right? The human touch, all of that is starting to become what they want to deem as normal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think we all have to be some type of entrepreneur in your own right, whatever that looks like, just because you have to stay with what's happening. Because getting left behind in this technology is, I think it's going to be detrimental. You're going to be more of a follower than a leader, not even 10 years from now, if you're not caught up on what's happening and how you fit in to this AI world.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many layers to it. Absolutely. I completely agree. And I'm looking at my kids going, we got to start thinking. We got to start thinking about what careers are actually going to be viable in 5-10 years.
Yeah, truly. Queen of Hearts, we're going to speak, dear?
I'm curious on, okay, the part where you say the banks make so much money off of loans and stuff. Because I know from taking accounting courses, the money that we deposit into the banks is what they're using towards giving loans to individuals that come in and apply for them. But I never knew that they was making money on. Is it like the interest portion that they're making? Okay, gotcha. So whatever interest that they put in on top of whatever they're lending out is how they capitalize it. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and like credit cards, I mean, if you have, and I'm selling a credit card, the bank's making bank on that credit card over the lifetime of, however long that consumer continues to spend with it. And so the compensation model may have changed by now. I mean, ladies, this was 20 plus years ago. Oh my gosh. However, at the time, I was like, this is just not working for me. I am working way too hard and making way too much money for someone else to not be compensated for it.
Which is true. And hearing your story kind of reflects on how I made that decision as well to be an entrepreneur, because you were undervalued, unappreciated. You put in all that hard work and time, and they didn't give you the recognition that you needed for that. So you was like, wash my hands, let me go, let me work for myself. Well, I'm going to appreciate myself. I can take off time whenever I want to and don't have to inquire, can I take time off, and things like that. So that's one of the greatest feelings in the world, when you can work for yourself. And women, we always been underneath that glass ceiling effect when it comes to being in a man dominant world, trying to get equal pay. They never ever allowed us to go past that glass ceiling. They kept us at that cap. And women talk about, oh, but things don't change. In what way? Other than our attire, how we're being treated in the office, the sexual harassment has decreased a little bit, but that pay is still the same.
Oh yeah, it's a mess. And I agree. That's another piece, is the freedom and the time flexibility. Now, it comes with its own risks and challenges and heartache and all of the things. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart by any means. However, I forgot that piece. Thank you for reminding me, that freedom and that time flexibility that we're able to afford ourselves. And then I really believe that because the kind of employer I am now, my team feels that as well. My team, they have kids and they have freedom and they have flexibility. It is not this rigid man's world or corporate world that I'm clocking in, clocking out. It's like, I completely understand that the happier that my team is, both at work and outside of work, the more productive and the better we'll all be. And so the other day, my team member, I don't even know what I was doing. It was a random Tuesday, and my office manager texts me a picture from the zoo. She's like, hey, I just want to let you know, I really appreciate you. I took my kiddo to the zoo today. Everything's good at the office, but we just needed to get out. Didn't ask me, didn't get permission, my office manager. But like, with that autonomy, she's taking better care of the clients. She's a better mama. Like, we're just better humans when we don't outsource to AI and just act like humans and treat each other the way we deserve to be treated.
So
Okay,
you
so
have,
calm down.
no, I mean, it's exciting and a wonderful feeling.
This is so good. This is so good. I love your website, and I love the way that you have built the team, because everybody specializes in something. And you can go to this person for this and this person for that. Can you talk more about that and why you styled your company that way?
Yeah. So Mikeisha, that is not the insurance agency. So that's my third business. That's my coaching practice. So I've owned the insurance agency since 2008, which is insane. Like, I don't even think I'm that old. I'm coming up on 2 decades business owner, which is wild. So that was who I was talking about with my office manager, and my team does an amazing job running that office. About 8 years into agency, maybe 5 years into agency, I hired my first coach, a business coach, to help me learn how to do this thing. And I would complain about my team. Oh my God, I was the worst. I was the worst boss back then. The worst boss. So that I've come a long way. Let's just say that. And so I hired this coach, and she said, I really think you should start coaching your team. You're kind of complaining about the way they're producing or performing or talking to clients, but you're not spending the time with them to teach them. And so I started coaching my team every single Monday for about an hour each. And we would talk about sales and talk about customers and talk about insurance products. And after about a year of gaining their trust, my team members' trust, they said, hey, after we do coaching on business, is it okay if I ask you a question about my roommate? They're coming home late at night, and I just don't know how to have this awkward conversation to ask them to keep it down. Or they would come to me and say, hey, I have this nagging credit card debt. It's just like hanging out, $3,000 to $5,000. I can't figure out how to pay it off. Could you help me through that? So I started organically coaching my team, both in business and in personal, and it became quickly my favorite day of the week. Oh my gosh, I became a better human. I became a better boss. My team became more productive and happier. And so I would post on social media with no agenda, because there used to be social media without an agenda. I don't know if you guys remember that. Like, when it started.
Yes.
And I would post, oh, it's Monday, it's my favorite day. I get to coach my team. And after about a year of that, women started reaching out to me and saying, hey, would you coach me? I didn't even know that I would become a life coach. So that was about 12 years ago. I started my life coaching practice, and organically it has grown and shifted and pivoted. And what it is right now, where it's landed, is the most beautiful concept, which is what Mikeisha brought up. It's a coaching collective. So as anyone who knows about what it's like to enter the coaching world, it can be a really expensive endeavor to hire a coach. Very, very expensive, maybe 5 figures for just one coach.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on the low, that's an average. It's crazy. And over the last decade, I've hired multiple of these coaches, some good, some not so good. And I've hired a business coach and a mindset coach and a productivity coach and a health coach. And I thought, like, what if this was accessible to everyone? What if coaching like this broad range of access to help and support in different areas of our life wasn't just reserved for the rich people, wasn't just reserved for the women who have all these funds to just hire all these coaches. And so I founded the Crew. It's a life coaching collective. And for $97 a month, the members have access to the best of the best coaches, the best business coach I could find, the best mindset coach I could find, the best productivity coach I could find. And each of these coaches, they are, $5,000 to $10,000 on their own. If you were going to go out and invest in them, they're so good. They're so amazing. And they coach inside the Crew, and members get access, unlimited access. Well, I should take that back. They don't have to pick and choose what they go to. They can come to any and all of the coaching sessions. So there's over 20 hours of live coaching inside the Crew every single month for the $97.
How do you go about marketing all 3 of your businesses?
With the insurance agency, we're chilling. I'm not investing market money into that right now. We're just taking excellent care of our policyholders. So that's a referral-based business. The other business that I have is real estate. I don't need to market that. I have a couple properties. And then with the coaching practice right now, it is also referral-based. And so I'm available for tips. I'm trying to get out on amazing shows like this to let the people know that there's something else available. There's a way to get support and to learn from a business coach if entrepreneurship is something that you're interested in, to get your mindset squared away if you're feeling some scarcity. There's support out there for everyone at an accessible rate. I just hired a branding specialist, so I'm new to this. This is not my area of expertise. But right now it's referral. We'll see where it goes. I'm also pretty darn protective of the community, Mikeisha. Like, not just everybody gets to come in. Mm-hmm. Yes, we're accessible, but we're also inclusive. What that means is we're going to be nice to everyone. And there's a lot of jerks out there. We don't want the jerks.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is so good. I'm learning a lot. I hope that the people who are tuned in are enjoying themselves, whether you're live or in the rewind. Thank you to our producer, Snitchy Smurf, for always doing a fantastic job. There's your banner. This is good. So what commonalities do you see in some of the clients that with regard to like the coachings that you say, I keep seeing this over and over again. This is a trend. This is a pattern.
Yeah. Man, there's so many. I would say one of the biggest things is scarcity. This scarcity mindset that women have. It's not our fault. I don't believe it's our fault at all. I think it's cultural conditioning. I think it's the patriarchy. I think we've been conditioned that there's only enough to go around, or we have to fight for our position. We have to beat other people out. We have to seem like we know more than other people. And so they don't come come to the crew saying these things, but it comes up. It comes up when with the fear of putting myself out there, the fear, am I good enough to do this thing? The fear
Sure.
of holding and setting a boundary. So I would say that one of the themes is the scarcity. But then the other thing that I see women struggling with is just complete overwhelm, like complete and utter overwhelm and burnout. And it's like, yeah, I have these great ideas. I want to work on my business, or I want to launch the thing, or I want to write a book, or I want to work on my health, but I'm tired. Like, where do we find the space or the time or the energy? That's also what I see. And so our productivity coach is a genius at helping us like figure out what actually matters and organizing our life around moving goals forward, and abandoning some things that are maybe holding us back and keeping us stuck and keeping us tired. So I would say that's another one. It's just this exhaustion, and then, I mean, if you're even on social media at all, it's almost too much, if you listen to the news. And so that's another thing. I think women come in saying like, I don't even know if I have bandwidth for this. And I say, I hear you, and I want you to give it a try, because I know we can find space. I know we can.
A lot of people talk themselves out of stuff as opposed to talking themselves into it. And I hope that when these women come to you speaking about scarcity mindset and making every excuse as opposed to taking the risk, that you go back to that first time you were with all of those male suits, and you give them your testimony so that they can be relatable, so that you can appear relatable to them. Because I darn sure would. Because there was this one question. It's this app called Show of Hands. It says, would you rather a keynote speaker be inspirational or relatable? And I said relatable, because that's really, when you talk about sales, that's really one of the ways, backhandedly almost, that you get people to be persuaded and do what it is that you need. Go ahead.
Yeah, I love that so much. So inside the crew, I go live every Monday for 20 minutes, and I just share a story and a little bit of homework, and we have a theme. And so this is so perfect. This comment that you made about women, we so often, and men too, we do it. We more often talk ourselves out of the thing that we desperately want versus talking ourselves into going after the thing that might feel a little risky. And the theme inside the crew this month is be bold. Now, be bold looks a lot different for a lot of different women, right? Be bold. I posted a picture. I went to the gym today, and I forgot. This might be too TMI. I forgot a sports bra. I was like, oh no. But you know what? I'm going to be bold. I'm going to be bold, and I'm just going to work out in my regular stretched out brassiere. And that's one way of being bold, like still doing the thing, even though it's like, oh God, I probably didn't look that great. But also be bold. We have women like giving notice at their 9 to 5 to go pursue their freelance work. So be bold. That sounds like, oh my God, it has to be crazy. Like, no, it's whatever bold means to you. And so that's the theme inside the crew. And every Monday I go live with a relatable story, just to, this is how we do. This is how we move forward. We share our stumbles. We share our roadblocks. We share the embarrassing trip to the gym, to be relatable, but also to give each other permission. Like, let's just do it messy.
And see, that's women problem at sometimes. We are our worst critic, and we also have somebody always in our ear. And we value their opinion more than our own. And instead of sticking with our first decision, we let them sway our decision. So if we can just stay focused, and nobody's perfect. We're never perfect. We all have flaws. We're going to make errors. Stop being your worst critic and being too hard on ourselves. We got to learn how to forgive, move on, execute. If not execute, go back to the drawing board, try it again, and go from there. So until we can actually take that other person in our ear out, and put on tunnel vision and move forward from there, we can accomplish so much more.
So much more. I just told one of my coaches, I was like, I think my first book is just going to be titled "I'm a Failure." Like, that's how I got here. I just messed up a lot. I failed a lot, and that's how we do with the tunnel vision. And I think granting ourselves permission to get it wrong, and then, like you said, let's get back to the drawing board. We're just human. You know, what would we tell our best friend or our kids? Like, oh yeah, you should quit for sure. Like, no, we'd be like, what? Forgive yourself, shake it off. Let's get back to.
Mm-hmm. And transparency is key. So you being very transparent with your viewers and everything, that's why they're saying, okay, we're going to gravitate to her because she's being a realist. She's an open book. You know, I can relate. Like Mikeisha say, I can relate. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really twofold, because a lot of my more affluent friends, I listen to them. They say I stay in business for what people don't do. You know, my lawyer friend, she say I'm gonna always be in business because people don't have their affairs in order. My doctor friend say you don't take care of yourself good. That's why I still have a job. And so, in the same vein, you having that gusto to want to start a business, most people don't have. They have the idea, but it never goes any further than the idea. So it's a select few. It's a select and a non-select portion of people, and that's why it's because there's enough money out here for everybody. But people as individuals, I feel like we don't push ourselves enough. Dr. Ben Carson said we only use 10% of our brain. Hold on, only 10% of our brain? That gears me into action straight away. What do you have on that? What do you say to that?
Oh man. It breaks my heart if there's someone out there who has a desire to start that business, or to go out on their own, or to write a book, or to learn something new, like a instrument, I don't know, and talks themselves out of it because of that other voice, the voice inside our head, and that external voice, and the fear of failure. And so what I say to is that it breaks my heart. If more women were out here doing what we want to do, there would be more money going around, because like you said, there's enough for all of us to get ours. We'd be happier. We'd have more freedom. And what I would say to that is, like, also, I get it. It's scary. Mm-hmm. So I think we've got to practice scary. We've got to practice doing things that push us out of our comfort zone. One of the coaches inside the crew, Mindy Hebner, she's a mindset coach, and she doesn't call it our comfort zone because a lot of times it's not comfortable, right? Mm-hmm. She calls it our known zone. So, like, it's just what we know. When we keep doing that habit that doesn't make us feel good, it's not comfortable. That's not true, but we know it. That's why we keep doing it. And so we've got to rewire our brain and try different things to get out of that known zone, to get out of the comfort zone, as most people know. So how do we start? Can we start small? I just yesterday started a hip hop dance class. I've never taken a dance class in my life. It's bad, like bad. I don't even know how to do a body roll.
Come on, Tam, show her how to do a body roll, Tam.
I need help. Oh my God.
You'll get it. That's the whole point of taking the class. They will get you there. It's baby steps. Take those baby steps. And in order to lead, you have to follow and take those directions. And they're giving you everything you need to know. And YouTube and TikTok is everywhere. So you can always refer back to YouTube and TikTok at home and pick up some pointers from there.
Exactly. Yes. And so I'm scared. I look like a fool. It's like I even have to do a recital. Whatever. But this is a baby step, like you said, of, okay, all right, we're scared, we're nervous. How can we practice getting out of that known zone in a less risky way? We're not quitting the 9 to 5, or we're not going all in on whatever. How can you start practicing stepping into that fear just a little bit in a safe way, so that when the opportunity comes, you're like, oh, I think I can do this. Oh, when that idea comes, oh, I can take action even though I'm scared.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think that's when a lot of women start doing our affirmations too. You remember that show that used to be out, Being Mary Jane, and how she had her sticky notes everywhere, kind of hyping her up and reminding her, or you are enough, you can do this. Yeah. Figure out our own method that works best for us.
Absolutely. And nobody's telling us that. I mean, I don't have someone like telling me that I'm awesome all the time. And so we've got to be that person for ourselves in whatever way that feels right, whatever way that works. Because I know that the voice inside my head, and I hear it from clients, it's not very kind. And so how can we rewire that voice a little bit? And I love affirmations. Do you have a favorite one?
I always say, I use the scriptures from the Bible where it says God said he'll never give us no more than what we can bear. So what I'm going through right now, that's temporary. And it's, people out there have far worse situations or in far worse situations than mine. So I always say he's never going to put no more on me than I can bear.
I appreciate that, especially with today, with what my company's going through this week. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely interested in knowing like your 5 closest friends. They say you're like the sum of your 5 closest friends. Y'all have whatever you are is because of the people that are around you. Like you're a byproduct of that. How are your closest friends? Are they as inspired as you? Are they as entrepreneurial as you?
Ooh, such a good question. Yes and no. If I'm thinking, so like my husband, he's my closest friend. Anniversary 21 years coming up. How crazy is that? I know. He's my best friend and my closest friend, but no, he is not entrepreneurial whatsoever, but he's positive. And he believes in manifesting, and he believes in doing good and karma, and like good things are going to come when we do good things. And so I got him. And then I got my bestie, who is she's dabbling in entrepreneurship. And so I would say they're not all the same, which is so beautiful. But they lift me up in different ways, right? One is more spiritual. One is more loves to move her body more. And so I get to tap into all these resources. And I will say, I do believe that wholeheartedly, though, that I have no idea if it's the sum of the 5 people, whatever, but I don't know if it's 5, but who you kick it with definitely has impact on how you show up. And I know in my past, I have chosen to kick it with people who like to gossip, like to talk about other people when they weren't in the room, weren't spending time with their affirmations or with their faith, or that is not about them. It is about who I was being around them. And I realized that a long time ago, and I made the decision to just like, oh, let's go find, it wasn't, I'm making it sound very easy. But it wasn't, but definitely made that decision. Like, oh, I don't like who I am when we're gossiping. I don't like who I am. It's not about them. It's completely about me. So how can I remove myself and go create a different circle? So I definitely believe that. And I've experienced now both sides of that. I'm sure a lot of us have.
This is so good. This is so good. I always tell my students with regard to who they hang around, it's people are either going to leave you where they are, they're going to bring you up, or they're going to bring you down at the very least. And I tell the girls, don't be around no man that's going to bring you down. At least let him leave you where you are or bring you up. I'm somebody who likes to work just naturally. And I used to hang around people who had me calling out. I said, something ain't right. Y'all got to go. And I don't do stuff cold turkey. I got to wean myself off of you if I really like you. But I knew I had to strategically get my ass up out of there. I'm serious. And so I'm saying this to say that other people that are experiencing this. And so when you find yourself coming outside of who you naturally are over and over again, and it don't feel right, and it's because of the people that surround you, remove yourself or make them change.
Absolutely. I think that's why, because I've experienced that, like I was a mean girl. I was not nice. I was not kind in those situations. I am so protective of the crew now. I am so protective of my family now. We just had a little drama, like my youngest, a little drama. And I'm like, we're so protective now of, we don't do that in our house. We don't treat each other, or we don't let other people treat each other with drama or disrespect in our home anymore. I'm so protective. And I think it's because of who I used to be. And I'm like, I will never go back to that.
Mm-hmm. We all observe others' energy, and if that energy you're consuming is too negative, too toxic, like you say, it alters your ego or your mindset. It's time to let it go, cut it off, redirect, and move into a different direction. More light, shine bright. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So for the people who want to do what it is that you're doing, the real estate thing, I don't want to undermine that, because that is, I'm gonna tell you something. I read a lot of wealth books, and real estate is always attached to wealth. So do you own properties that you rent out?
I do. And this is also, I feel really lucky. Like I am always on, I call myself a curious student of life. Like I'm just like kind of going through life trying to learn and observe. And so when I was a single mom, working 2 jobs, my friend, who I'm still friends with, still one of the 5, she was 20, just a couple years above me, and she had bought a house by herself. I was like, what? How did you buy a house by yourself? And she's like, well, okay, this was way back when it was like stated income. Okay, like I probably shouldn't have qualified for that house, but 2 jobs, single mom, qualified for a house. Is so cute. I paid $150,000 for this baby house. And I was living at home at the time with my kiddo. Right after we closed, my mom, who's a teacher, came to me and she said, the superintendent of the school district just sold her house, and they're building another house. They have this like 2 months where they're home. They don't have a house to live in. Maudie, would you let them move in before you do, and they'll just pay your mortgage? And I was like, oh, I'm living at home. That's fine. I wasn't really excited about it, but my mom was kind of like, this would also make me look real good, to my boss. So I never moved into that house. I was like, wait, what? Someone else would pay my mortgage for me? That's wild. So then I bought a duplex, and I stumbled into it, but it was like this like blinders coming off, like, oh my gosh, someone else pays into my retirement. How genius is that? And also, can I provide safe, affordable, purposeful housing for folks as well? Like it's just, everybody is winning here.
You know what I'm noticing about you throughout this hour is that you discover something and you do something about it. If you like it or you don't like it, you're like, oh, that might work. Let me see. Let me not. And then you take kind of, I would call these calculated risks, because you did your research beforehand, and then you take the leap. Me, Queen of Hearts here at Capricorns, and they say that we take calculated risks. So that's what I'll call a lot of what you have done in your life. Would you agree?
Yes. And I want to say that I love that about myself, and also it's gotten me into some trouble, right? Like I'm a quick start as well. And that's also where I failed a lot. So I say I'm a quick start, but I'm also a quick quit. So if something's not working, I'm also like, right, I can quickly get out of it. I've always for the last decade, I've had this dream to live on the water. I just want to live on the water. I live up in Seattle, and I've wanted to live on a lake. We bought a boat during COVID because it was like safe to go out and boat. And March of last year, we closed on our dream house out on the lake. And
Congratulations.
Thank you. And we moved in. And you know how you have a dream and you have a vision for how something's going to be, and it's just gorgeous and beautiful and lovely, and then you're there, maybe a vacation or something, and it is not gorgeous and beautiful and lovely. It's like the opposite of what you imagined. That was the lake house. My nervous system, we have 3 kids, and they all bring their kids over, and now there's like bonfires and jet skis and probably alcohol, right? And that whole last summer, my nervous system, like my husband would catch me everybody would be down by the water, by the bonfire. He would catch me in my room crying, like, I don't like it here. I don't like it here. This is not what I envisioned. This is so stressful. It's not calming. We're all so scattered. It just did not feel like home. And so we quit on it. We just closed like a couple weeks ago, and we're back in town, like in a boring house, not on the lake. And so that's a failure. That's part of the book. That's part of like failing. My dream was that failure because it wasn't what I imagined. But I think the bigger failure would be to push it. The bigger failure would be to be living inauthentically out on the lake, like performing because that's what you're supposed to do and look cool. It's like, it just wasn't the right time. Maybe eventually, but so that's an example of like, yes, I went for it. Quick action, calculated risk. It didn't work out. And I have no shame in saying wrong move, wrong decision. I'm going to roll back a bit.
How, Queen of Hearts, were you going to speak? I'm sorry.
No, it's just like a lot of people that move from out of state, move to Florida. The first thing they want to do is get lakefront property. But they don't realize that, okay, the taxes on that lakefront property is tearing them up. They're ready to leave. Florida do not have flood coverage in our insurance. So if you own a home and you're on a lake and these hurricanes come through and flood you out, they messed up. Everything is gone because it's not going to be covered. There's no flood coverage. So they're like, wait a minute, what, huh? I mean, how many hurricanes going to come through and it's going to tear up our oceanfront property or our lakefront property? And we ride through. And if you look at old videos from the hurricanes that have been hitting us for the past 2 years, we're starting to sink into the ocean, and more people are instead of moving to Florida. So we're constantly going, down in the ocean, reclaiming the land. And they're saying, hey, this is not what I imagined. I don't want this lakefront property anymore. These hurricanes coming through and messing up these $1 million mansions on the ocean front gone. They can't get nothing back from it. So you see it for sale signs everywhere because hurricane get ready to kick in next month or in July. And it's going to go all the way to November, December. For sale signs are popping up everywhere around this lakefront property. And I was like, it's beautiful, but to live and invest, I would never. The alligators, they reclaiming that property. They tearing up all this wildlife, and these bears are kumbaya in the backyard by the bonfires, and people like, where do these bears come from? You forgot that there used to be that bear home that you tore down, and now they coming back to their house? I don't know. I'm happy where I'm at, and I'm going to stay right where I'm at.
Well, thank you for talking about the other side of having a lakefront home. And I definitely want to send major congratulations out to my nephew, who is your son, who just graduated from high school. I'm so proud of him. Time flies. Where does the time go with these children who just become fast adults? Mercy me.
No more waking up at 5 and 6 a.m. I've been getting up out of bed at 8 and 9 o'clock and like, oh, good morning. Feeling so refreshed. Thank you, Jesus. And my son, he wants to get into real estate. He wants to sell houses, do tax liens and things like that. So I've been going to like little courses with him, and he's gonna enroll and start learning that side of
Oh,
the. Mhm.
brilliant. He
Mhm.
is brilliant. Yes.
Mhm.
Smart.
And I want to
Yeah.
ask you, with regard to your children, are they picking your brain because you have multiple businesses? Are they not there yet, or they're not interested? Where are you all with that? I know you are thinking about them for the future. Where are your children with that?
You know, it depends on the day.
Okay.
If I'm like, if I'm in the, am I good? Are we good? Or am I on the outs? Am I cool? No, we have a really great relationship, and my husband's a pilot, so also pretty
Ooh.
AI proof gig. And so our middle daughter is hoping to follow in dad's footsteps, and then our youngest is going to do the same. Our oldest, no, he doesn't. I wish he would ask, and eventually, but also I don't, we used to be like, when you're parenting and they're in the house, you're like the manager. And now I'm just kind of like a consultant. And so he's not really consulting with me right now. So, but I'll be here when he's ready. We won't push anything on them, but they know mom has some good ideas. When they're ready, I'll be ready to chat with them.
That's good. I love a parent who gives their child space as opposed to enforcing their will upon, which I see more often than I think I should.
I bet you do.
I would be remiss. First of all, I'm going to follow you on all social media platforms. And so anybody who wants to get in touch with you or follow you, thank you, Snitchy Smurf. Well, does that answer the question?
Dang. Yeah, Instagram, like that's where I hang out. See if we vibe. My stories are real. I share the messy and the beautiful, all of it. And the crew is a really, really special community.
We have really enjoyed having you on. I've learned plenty. I love how spirited you are, how open and transparent that you are, and how experienced you are. I've really valued your time tonight. I hope Queen of Hearts and Tam agree. But this has been phenomenal. I can't wait to watch the replay and continue to stay in touch with you and continue to learn from you. This has been great.
This is really fun. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad that the universe connected us, and I now know you guys. Thank you for having me.
So yeah, thank you for coming. Don't be a stranger. Come again.
So, you guys, that's the show. You've been tuning into Intro to Info with your host, Mikeisha, WUELLNER, Tam, and Queen of Hearts. Once again, we go live 9 to 10 on Thursdays, Eastern Standard Time, right here on the J King Network. Come back, join us, have some more fun. In the meantime, God bless you and be safe. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody.